Parshas Bo, the Aliyah of Chamishi. The Aliyah of Chamishi, of course, brings us to the experience of Makas Bechoros. It's one of the central moments of Yetzias Mitzrayim. In the previous Aliyah, at the end of the previous Aliyah, Kadosh Baruch Hu instructs Moshe Rabbeinu to tell the Jewish people that they have to put blood on their doorposts. And in order to identify the homes of Am Yisrael, this was the ritual that was required. And this way, when Kadosh Baruch Hu goes throughout Mitzrayim and executes all of the Bechorim of Mitzrayim, which was done because in Mitzrayim, the concept of a Bechor, the concept of something that came first, was the notion of power, the notion of vigor. In Yahadus, when we think about what comes first, we think about Kedusha, we think about sanctity, we think about, and that will be the end of the parsha in terms of consecrating the Bechorim. So Kadosh Baruch Hu says, this is the plan. We're going to go through Mitzrayim, we'll be able to identify the homes of Am Yisrael. I want to share with you a fascinating comment from Rav Kook. The Torah tells us that a Kadosh Baruch Hu al Pasach al Batei B'nei Yisrael. Kadosh Baruch Hu tells us, the Torah tells us that Hashem was Pasach al Batei B'nei Yisrael. That he passed over, and we know that's where the name of the holiday comes from, the homes of the Jewish people. Says Rav Kook, such a beautiful insight. What does the word Pasach mean? So we've all been habituated to translate it as Passover, to pass over. He writes that if you look at the story of Eliyahu on Har HaKarmel, Eliyahu says to the Jewish people, Ad Masai atem poschim al shnei seifim. How much longer are you going to be Pasach on both sides? How much longer are you going to live your life claiming that you subscribe to the ideals of Torah and at the same time engaging behavior that is more aligned with the Nevi'ei Abal? How long are you going to be so inconsistent and hypocritical? In that context, says Rav Kook, the word Pasach does not mean to pass over. How long are you going to pass over the two sides? No. It means to hover. Pasach means to hover. How long are you going to not pick a side? You're going to hover here and you're going to hover there and you're going to move back and forth, but you're not going to entrench yourself in a certain approach to life. So says Rav Kook, that's how you read this Pasach. What was HaKadosh Baruch Hu doing? It's a totally revolutionary approach to how to understand what went on that night. See, our picture of what went on that night, which comes from so many of the midrashim that we've learned as kids and the way they've been interpreted, is God is basically going through Mitzrayim out of vengeance and punishment and destroying all of these Bechorim, but he's skipping over the Jewish people. Says Rav Kook, that's not what's happening. Makas Bechoros was a Kadosh Baruch Hu allowing a destructive force that was essentially created by the Egyptians themselves, with their behavior and their attitudes and their approach to life. He allowed a destructive force to be unleashed throughout Mitzrayim. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu was Pasach al Batei B'nei Yisrael. You know where he was? He was hovering in protection of the Jewish people. The experience of Pesach, the experience of being spared, was not an experience of HaKadosh Baruch Hu just redirecting the danger. It is a notion of protection, of presence. It's a notion that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was with the Jewish people that night. As a result, they experienced that level of protection.